The first question: would you say something about your father's death yesterday? It was not a death at all, or it was the total death, and both mean the same thing. I was hoping that he will die in this way. He died a death that everybody should be ambitious for. He died in samadhi. He died utterly detached from the body and the mind. I had gone to see him only 3 times during this whole month he was in the hospital. Whenever I felt that he is just on the verge, I had gone to see him. The first 2 times, I was a little afraid that if he dies, he will have to be born again. A little attachment with the body was there. His meditation was deepening every day. But few chains with the body were still intact, were not broken. Yesterday I went to see him. I was immensely happy that now he can die a right death. He was no more concerned with the body. Yesterday, early in the morning, 3 o'clock, he attained his first glimpse of the eternal. And immediately he became aware that now he is going to die. This was for the first time he had called me to come. The other 2 times I had gone on my own. Yesterday he had called me to come because he was certain that he is going to die. He wanted to say goodbye. And he said it beautifully, with no tears in the eyes, with no longing for life anymore. Hence, in a way, it is not a death, but a birth into eternity. He died in time and was born into eternity. Or it is a total death. Total in the sense that now he will not be coming anymore. And that is the ultimate achievement. There is nothing higher to it, higher than it. He left the world in utter silence, in joy, in peace. He left the world like a lotus flower. It was worth celebration. And these are the occasions for you to learn how to live and how to die. Each death should be a celebration. But it can be a celebration only if it leads you to higher planes of existence. He died enlightened. And that's how I would like every of my sannyasin to die. Life is ugly if you are unenlightened. And even death becomes beautiful if you are enlightened. Life is ugly if you are unenlightened, because it is a misery, a hell. Death becomes a door to the divine if you are enlightened. It is no more misery. It is no more hell. In fact, on the contrary, it is getting out of all hell, out of all misery. I am immensely glad that he died the way he died. Remember it. As meditation deepens, you become farther and farther away from your body-mind composite. And when the meditation reaches to its ultimate peak, you can see everything. Yesterday morning, he was absolutely aware of death, that it has come. And he had called me. This was the first time he had called me. And the moment I saw him, I saw that he is no more in the body. All the pains of the body has disappeared. That's why doctors were puzzled. The body was functioning in an absolute normal way. This was the last thing the doctors could have imagined, that he can die. He could have died any day before. He was in deep pain. There were many complexities in the body. His heart was not functioning well. His pulse was missing. There were blood clots in the brain, in the leg, in the hand. Yesterday he was absolutely normal. They checked and they said it is impossible. Now there is no problem, no danger. But this is how it happens. The day of the danger, according to the physicians, didn't prove dangerous. The first 24 hours when he was entered into the hospital 1 month before were the most dangerous. They were afraid that he will die. He didn't die. Then the next 24 hours they were still hesitant to say whether he will be saved or not. Even a suggestion from a surgeon had come to cut the leg completely, because if blood clots start happening in other places, it will be impossible to save him. But I was against cutting the leg, because one has to die one day. Why distort the body? And why create more pain? And just living in itself has no meaning. Just lengthening of the life has no meaning. I said no. They were surprised. And when for almost 4 weeks he survived, they thought I was right. There was no need to cut the leg. The leg was coming back, becoming again alive. He had started walking also, which Dr. Sardesai thought was a miracle. They had not hoped that much, that he will be able to walk. Yesterday he was perfectly normal, everything normal. And that gave me the indication that now death is possible. Before death, if meditation happens, everything becomes normal. One dies in perfect health because one is not really dying but entering into a higher plane. The body becomes a stepping stone. He was meditating for years. He was a rare man. It is very rare to find a father like him. A father becoming a disciple of his own son. It is rare. Jesus' father did not dare to become a disciple. Buddha's father hesitated for years to become a disciple. But he was meditating for years. 3 hours each day. In the morning from 3 to 6, he was sitting in meditation. Yesterday also, in the hospital also he had continued. Yesterday it happened. One never knows when it will happen. One has to go on digging. One day one comes across the source of water, the source of consciousness. Yesterday it happened. It happened in right time. If he had left his body just one day before, he would be back soon in the body again. A little clinging was there. But yesterday the slate was completely clean. He attained to no mind. He died like a Buddha. What can be more what one can have more than Buddhahood? My effort here is to help you all to live like Buddhas and die like Buddhas. The death of a Buddha is both. It is not a death because life is eternal. Life does not begin with the birth and does not end with the death. Millions of times you have been born and died. They are all small episodes in the eternal pilgrimage. But because you are unconscious, you cannot see that which is beyond birth and death. As you become more conscious, you can see your original face. He saw his original face yesterday. He heard the one hand clapping. He heard the soundless sound. Hence, it is not a death. It is attaining life eternal. On the other hand, it can be called a total death. Total death in the sense that he will not be coming anymore. Rejoice. The second question. When hearing the story over dinner of Dadu and 2 of his disciples, Rajab and Sundaro, I was baffled by how deeply affected they both were by the death of their master. One, Rajab, never opened his eyes again, and the other, Sundaro, died in the same bed as his master Dadu. How can an enlightened person be so affected by the death of his master or beloved one? It is one of the most beautiful stories. There is no parallel to it in the whole history of religion. But it has to be understood. You have misunderstood it totally. It is very easy to misunderstand it. Apparently, what you have understood is what is understood by people who read this story. The question arises, why two enlightened persons are so much affected by the death of their master? They are not affected at all. It is not happening out of misery. It is a totally different dimension. Rajab never opened his eyes again. He was asked once why he has closed his eyes. He said, because I have seen the most beautiful thing in the world. Now there is nothing else to see. Dadu was the most beautiful flower. Now what is the point of keeping eyes open for what? If you have the Kohinoor with you, you will not go on collecting pebbles on the seashore, or will you? Rajab is not affected. It is not out of sadness that he closes his eyes. There is not a single tear in his eyes. He is not weeping. He is not crying. With closed eyes, he continued to dance and sing the songs of Dadu. But he said, once you have seen God in human form, now there is nothing worth seeing. I would like the impact of my master on my eyes to be the last and the most penetrating. I would not like it to be covered by dust. Then the whole story takes a totally different turn. It is tremendous love. It is not an attachment with the master's body. It is great understanding. Once you have seen a master, and Rajab lived very close to Dadu. The day he became an initiate, he was very small, just 7 years old. He had come with his parents to participate in a religious festival. He was not even aware of Dadu. Dadu was also there in the festival. The parents had gone to pay formal respects because it was known in the country that Dadu is enlightened. They didn't believe. But this country is very traditional and formal. If people hear that somebody is enlightened, whether you believe or not, you at least go and touch his feet. Maybe he is. Then why miss the opportunity? If he is not, you are not losing anything by touching his feet. This is cunningness, businesslike. The parents had gone. Rajab followed the parents. The parents touched the feet. But Rajab was transformed. The moment he saw Dadu, he recognized something from his past lives. This man is not new. This quality is not new. He has known him before. That almost always happens if you have lived with a master before. Immediately a recognition. He fell into the feet. And the parents tried to persuade him to come back with him. He said, I have found my real parents. Now you can go. He touched the feet of his parents and said, just as you have touched the feet of Dadu formally, I touch your feet and say goodbye. A 7-year-old child must have a maturity of many lives behind it. The parents cried and wept. But Rajab said, it is impossible. I have found the man. I cannot leave him even for a single moment. And since that time, for 20 years, he was in the service of the master, looking after his needs, sleeping in the same room, continuously on guard what he needs. And the day Dadu died, he simply closed his eyes. It is closing eyes to the world. He is saying, now there is nothing more to see. I have seen that which is really worth seeing. Now why waste your eyes? And why collect dust? Once you have mirrored God, then there is nothing else. You have seen the ultimate. It is not out of attachment that Rajab closed his eyes. It is out of great understanding. And he was not unhappy. He danced, he sang songs till he lived, but with closed eyes, so that he can see the master is still inside. 20 years, continuous communion with the master. The master has almost become a part of his soul. By closing his eyes, he was still keeping company with the master. Don't misunderstand him. Rajab is one of the most beautiful disciples ever. And what happened to Sundaro, another disciple? When Dadu died, he laid himself on the same bed and remained on the same bed. He never left the bed again. Master has slept on it his whole life. It was full of his vibe. It was full of his presence. It was soaked. He will not leave the bed. Why? People will ask him, and Sundara will say, there is nowhere to go. I have arrived. This is my home. This is my moksha. This is my heaven. And I would like to live in this beautiful space that the master has created in this bed, and I would like to die here. It is becoming so attuned with the master that you don't feel your life and your death separate from him. That is the meaning of it. Sundara was so attuned with the master's life that it used to be sometimes that he will speak in Dadu's name. And he was told by people that you are not Dadu. Then he will say, yes, forgive me. I have forget. But if you ask in reality, then I am Dadu. I have become one with my master. That is the ultimate state of disciplehood, when the disciple becomes one with the master. He used to say that he is Dadu. He has written songs in which his name is not given. Dadu's name. And people think that is not good. And the scholars go on discarding all that has been written by Sundaro. They think that is not from Dadu. But I say to you, it is from Dadu. Sundaro has become just a hollow bamboo on the lips of Dadu. Sundaro exists no more as a separate entity. That is the ultimate goal of a disciple. When the disciple and master meet and merge and become one. Sundaro has become one with the master. Hence, he has every right to sign Dadu. He signs his poetries as Dadu, not as Sundaro. And I totally agree with him. And I would like the scholars to be a little more sensitive. These things are not for scholarship. These things are not for learned people. These things are for lovers. Only lovers can understand these things. Such a beautiful phenomenon that a disciple cannot sign his name he has forgotten. Sometimes people will come to invite Dadu and Sundaro will say, yes, I will come. And they will say, but we have not come to invite you. We have come to invite Dadu. Sundaro will say, but who am I? Why give trouble to the old man? I can come. I am his younger form. I can travel long distances more easily. Why create trouble for him? And Dadu used to send sometimes Sundaro. People will invite Dadu and he will still send Sundaro. And people were very much puzzled that we have invited the master, not the disciple, but they will not be able to understand that the master and disciple at the ultimate peak of their love affair disappear into each other. Hence the day Dadu died, Sundaro did not say a single word about his death, did not went to the funeral at all. Everybody left for the funeral. Thousands of disciples had gathered and they were crying and weeping and they were in great misery. And what Sundaro did, he entered into the bed of the master, covered himself with his blanket, became Dadu. When people came back, they thought this is sacrilegious. They told Sundaro that this is not right. You are going mad. Have you gone crazy or something? This is the master's bed. You get out. He said, but I am no more. Sundaro has died. Have you not gone to his funeral? You have come. You have burnt him. I am Dadu. Now Dadu will function through me. That's why he never left the bed. Not even for a single moment. He lived on the bed. He died on the same bed because he has become the master. I call this game the mad game. By mad I mean M represents master and D represents disciple. Master and disciple game. It is a mad game. Unless you become also mad, you will not understand it. And I am happy that I am seeing that some madness is entering in you. You are on the way. You will not be far long out of this Buddha field. I can see you approaching closer and closer. Sooner or later, the color orange is going to be your color too. And I hope that before you leave the body, this happens. Become Rajab, become Sundaro. Don't think about them. These people are not to be contemplated upon. These people are to be lived. It is only by living that one can understand such tremendous phenomenon. The third question: if you were in a desert, instead of being here, would you feel the same? I am in the desert. Where do you think I am? This is the desert. To live with unconscious people is to live in a desert. To live with people who are not blooming, flowering, is to live in a desert. It is a human desert, far more empty than any desert can ever be. To become enlightened amongst unconscious people is to live in a desert. That is the fate of all the Buddhas. I say one thing, you understand something else. Constant misinterpretation is bound to happen, because I talk from a totally different plane. I talk out of a fullness, and you receive only through the mind. You receive only the words, and words cannot convey my message. My message can be conveyed to you only if you really become committed, involved in the energy field that I am creating. If you really become a plant in my garden, if you allow me to destroy your ego, because that is how growth begins. The death of the ego is the beginning of growth. Just as the seed has to die in the soil, the ego has to die in the master. Once your ego is completely gone, you are a beautiful tree with much foliage, greenery, flowers, fragrance. My effort is to make this desert a garden. And there is every possibility of succeeding, because people are getting ready. Hesitating, which is natural. Waiting, thinking, which is natural. But you cannot be here long, thinking and waiting. Sooner or later, the quantum leap. You cannot go on misunderstanding me long enough. If you just remain here, even if you misunderstand my words, I am working on you. Not through the mind. I am playing on the instrument of your heart. Words are just to keep you engaged, so that I can enter into your heart. Yes, the work of a master is like a thief. There is a Zen story. Zen masters have loved it tremendously. When you come across for the first time, you will feel puzzled about the story. The story is about a master thief. A man was known as a master thief in Japan. He was well known, famous all over the country. And of course he was a master thief, so nobody has ever been able to catch hold of him. He was never caught red-handed. Although everybody knew that he is the one who has stolen. Even from the treasury of the king, he has been stealing. And he was always leaving marks of his. So everybody will know who has been there. In fact, it had become a fashion to brag about if the master thief had thought worthy of you to steal something from. It became an aristocratic bragging. People will brag that last night the master thief has been to our house. But the man was getting older, and one day his young son said to him that now you are getting older. Teach me your art. The father said, then you come with me tonight. Because this is not something that can be taught. You can only imbibe the spirit of me. If you are intelligent enough, you can catch it. I cannot teach it to you, but you can catch it. I cannot give it to you, but you can get it. We will see. You come tonight with me. The son was naturally afraid for the first time. They went into the palace. The wall was broken. The father did, even in his old age, his hands were like a surgeon, unwavering, unshaking. Although he was becoming very old, with no fear, as if you are working in your own home, breaking the wall. He did not even look here and there. He was so certain of his art. And the young man was trembling. And it was a cold winter night. And he was perspiring. But the father was doing everything silently. Then the father entered into the house. The son followed, his knees trembling. And he was feeling he may fall any moment. He was losing all consciousness. The fear was such that if they are caught, then the father was moving in the dark house as if it is his house and he knows everything about the house. And even in the dark he can move without stumbling with the furniture, with the doors, making no noise at all. Noiselessly, he reached into the innermost chamber of the palace. He opened a cupboard, told the son to go in and find out whatsoever is valuable. The son entered in. The father locked the door. Shouted, "A thief, a thief, wake up!" and escaped from the hole that they had dug in the wall. Now this was too much. The son could not understand. Now he is locked in the cupboard, trembling, perspiring, and the whole house is awake. People are searching for the thief. What kind of father is this? He has murdered me, he thought. And what kind of teaching is this? This is the last thing he would have ever imagined. He has created a living nightmare for him. Now he is certain to be caught. And he has locked the door from the outside. He cannot even open the door and escape. After 1 hour, he reached home, the son. And the father was fast asleep and snoring. He threw away his blanket and said, "What kind of nonsense is this?" The father said, "So you are back? No need to tell the whole story. You also go to sleep. Now you know the art. We need not discuss about it." But the son said, "I have to tell you the whole story, what happened." The father said, "If you want to say, you can say. Otherwise, I don't require. Just that you have come is enough proof. Now from tomorrow night you start on your own. You have got the intelligence, the awareness that a thief needs. I am immensely happy in you." But the son was so overflowing. He wanted to relate the whole thing. He has done such a great job. He said, "Just listen, otherwise I will not be able to sleep at all. I am so excited. You had almost killed me." The father said, "It is hard, but that's how a master has to do many times." "Tell me the whole story. What happened?" He said, "Out of nowhere, not from my intellect, certainly not from my mind, this has happened." The father said, "This is the key of all mastery in all the fields of life, whether you are a thief or a meditator, whether you are a lover or a scientist or a painter or a poet. It doesn't matter. Whatsoever the field, this is the master key, that nothing happens from the head. Everything happens from somewhere below. Call it intuition. Call it no mind. Call it meditation. These are names, different names for the same thing. It has started functioning. I can see on your face. I can see the aura around you. You are going to become a master thief. And remember, through being a master thief, I have attained to meditation. So remember, this is the way for you to attain meditation." The son said, "When I was standing inside that damned cupboard and people were searching for the thief, a woman servant came with a candle in her hand. I could see from the keyhole something from nowhere. I started making noise as if I am a cat, and I have never done it before. The woman servant, thinking that there is a cat in the cupboard, unlocked it. As she unlocked it, I don't know how I did it and who did it. It happened. I blew the candle off, pushed the woman away, and ran. People followed me. The whole house was awake, the neighborhood was awake, and they were coming closer and closer, and I was on the verge of being caught. Then suddenly I came across a well. I saw a rock just by the side of the well. I don't believe that I have that much strength now to take that rock up, but it happens. When you are in such situations, your whole of energy becomes available to you. You don't live only on the superficial level. When life is at stake, your whole energy becomes available. I took away the rock, took up the rock. I cannot believe that I can even shake it now, and threw it in the well and ran away. The noise, the sound of the rock falling in the well, and all the people who were following me stopped following me. They surrounded the well. They thought I have jumped into the well. That's how I am back home. The father said, now you can go to sleep. I am finished. Never ask anything to me. Now you start on your own. The work of a master is a difficult work. He has to shout from the peaks, and you are crawling in the dark valleys of life. You are living in your graves, and he has to shout from eternal life. Misunderstanding is natural. Because of that misunderstanding, every Buddha lives in a desert. A couple were applying for a marriage license. Your name, Ol Olsen, and yours, Lena Olsen. Any connection? The bride blushed. Only once. He yumped me. Any connection? And the woman's mind immediately interprets it in her own way, the way she can do. Monsieur Foucault was visiting London for the first time. While walking about, he felt nature calling and looked around for a public latrine like those in Paris. He could not find one, and in desperation stepped into a dark building entrance. Immediately a bobby tapped him from behind. You can't do that here, you know. Later he tried to go behind a tree, but another bobby stopped him. In a few minutes he was again prevented by a policeman. Finally he noticed a single Dr. Dingley, urologist. Dashing into the office, Foucault said, Doctor, I cannot, how you say, relieve myself. The doctor handed him a bottle and told him to step behind the screen. In a few seconds, the Frenchman cried, Doctor, another container. S'il vous plaît. The doctor handed him one, and in a few minutes had to repeat the process. When the now happy Frenchman stepped out, the doctor asked, My good man, who told you that you could not relieve yourself? The entire London Police Department. It's natural. I speak from a different world. you listen from a different world. Between me and you there is a great desert. If you allow, it can become a garden. But only if you allow. It cannot be imposed on you. You cannot be forced. Great things never happen through enforcement. You cannot be regimented. You cannot be ordered, commanded. All commandments have failed. Religion has not succeeded because the priests have been ordering people, do this, don't do that. I cannot say to you, do this, don't do that. I can only relate my understanding to you. I can open my heart. I can go on playing on my flute. If you become enchanted by it. Yes, enchanted is the word. If you become allured by it. If you become completely oblivious of yourself, your past, your mind, your ideas, your prejudices, your upbringing. If my presence can help you to unburden, your seed will fall in the soil. The soil is ready. The spring has come. Now it is up to you. It is all up to you. A little courage, and the desert can be transformed into a garden. The fourth question. You said today that there is nothing like a group soul, but I have been strongly feeling something like that in the commune. Not only that, but this feeling of a collective soul is becoming more and more intense and attuned day by day. It is something new for me and very beautiful, and actually I experience it as the most beautiful thing that is happening for me here. I know that each of us has to awaken alone, but I feel that this collective soul is a tremendous help, at least for us, not to create other dreams. Am I dreaming now of a collective soul? No, it is a fact. Just you don't know the right word for it. Collective soul is not the right word. It is very misleading. Soul can only be individual. Then what is happening here in this commune? Anybody who enters in the ashram for the first time immediately becomes aware of something. He can see it on people's faces. He can see it in their walk. He can see the way they are working. He can see that it is no ordinary humanity. Some grace he can feel, some joy permeating the whole place, some playfulness, some sense of humor. And people are working 7 days a week. Nobody is looking at the clock except the Indians. People are enjoying the work. It is play. It is creativity. They are not tired. In fact, the more they go deeper into this creativity, the more nourished they feel, the more energy is released in them. Anybody can see that something is there, like an inner connection that connects all the sannyasins into one whole. It is not a collective soul. It is only falling into the same rhythm. I have a rhythm. The more you come closer to me, you start falling into the same rhythm. Then my breath and your breath synchronize. Then my heart and your heart synchronizes. And all the sannyasins are getting synchronized with me. Hence they are also synchronized as a consequence with each other. It is a synchronicity. It is an orchestra. We are all playing different instruments, but in harmony, in accord. That harmony you are calling the collective soul. It is not collective soul. An army has a collective mind, no soul at all, because soul can never be collective. Soul is always individual. It is found in your deepest aloneness. There is no other way to find it. But in a commune, this is the chemistry of a commune, that it helps you to become harmonious with others. And the more harmonious you are with others, the closer you come to your own soul, because harmony brings you closer to the soul. When a person is absolutely in harmony with the universe, he becomes enlightened. A paradox to be remembered. The Buddha is one who is absolutely in harmony with the universe. And yet, a Buddha is one who is absolutely an unique individual. He plays his flute or his guitar, but he plays his flute or guitar in absolute accord with the whole. He does not go in his own egoistic way. He is not an idiot. Remember, either you are a Buddha or you are an idiot. The word idiot is beautiful. It simply means doing something privately. Literally, it means doing something privately. That's why the words like idiosyncrasy. The idiot does not mean a fool. The idiot is far more potent a word than the fool. The idiot simply means who is trying to live through his ego, who is playing his instrument against the whole and trying to succeed. He is an idiot. He is going to fail. He is doomed to fail. His life will never know any blessing, any benediction. Your feeling is right. Just you are using the wrong words. Yes, a harmony is being created. I am in tune with the universe. You don't know what is the tune of the universe. It is invisible. You cannot right now connect yourself with the universal rhythm directly. But I am in tune with the universe. Call it God, nirvana, enlightenment. I am utterly lost in it. I have no song of my own to sing. I am singing the song of the universe. You can fall in tune with me. That is how you become a disciple. When you find somebody with whom falling in love brings joy. Falling in love is falling in tune with somebody. Your ordinary love affairs are ugly because you both are in discord. Your love affair is superficial because you like the blonde hair of a girl, or the shape of the nose, or the color of the eyes, or the curves of the body, and you fall in love. Now, curves of the body, color of the eye, the blonde hair is not going to long last. Sooner or later you will be fed up with it. The same curve, the same eyes, the same nose, sooner or later you will stop seeing. This is not love. Hence conflict arises immediately. All so-called love affairs are nothing but conflicts disguised, jealousies, possessiveness, domination, ego trips. But when you fall in love with a master, it is a totally different phenomenon. You feel the rhythm of the master, and slowly, slowly your heart feels the call, and you enter into an adventure. Slowly, slowly, more and more people enter into that adventure. A commune is created. First the Buddha, Buddham Saranam Gacchami. I go to the feet of the Buddha. Then the disciples arise, those who have gone to the feet of the Buddha. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Then many, many disciples gather. And they start feeling not only attuned with the Buddha, but a certain attunement with each other. Naturally, they are all attuned to one center. Hence, they start feeling an attunement with each other. A brotherhood, a sisterhood arises. That is Sangha, commune. And when you have fallen in love with a Buddha and have fallen in love with a commune, the ultimate surrender arises. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Then you know that it is neither the Buddha nor the commune. Behind the Buddha is the universal law, the ultimate law, Dhammam. Buddha only represents the ultimate law in a visible form. His commune represents it in an even more grosser way. These are the three shelters. First, you take shelter in the Buddha, then you take shelter in the commune, and then you take shelter in the ultimate law. This is what is happening here. You are moving in the right direction. Your feel is perfectly right. Intuitively you are right. Just intellectually you are using a wrong word. Drop that word. The fifth question, I never want what I get. I reject it. I always want what is not given to me. This I try to get. I never feel satisfied with what I have. I always want something else, and I never say what I really want. I suffer much from this, but it seems not enough as I still cling to it. Can you please say something about this? This is the way the world is made. The world is a great device of God. Just as masters create small devices for the disciples, the God creates the ultimate device for all beings. The world is a device. It was Christmas time, and a professor of philosophy and logic went to a toy shop with his wife to purchase something beautiful, a new toy for their only child as a Christmas gift. They tried many toys, but they were all old, a little bit modified here and there. The shopkeeper, seeing that they are not satisfied, went inside the store, brought an absolutely new toy they had never seen before. It was a jigsaw puzzle. He said, this is the latest and the best. You must like it. They tried to fit the jigsaw puzzle. First the wife tried. Ladies first. She failed. She could not figure it out. The husband laughed. The male chauvinist laughter. And he said, wait, I will do it. And he is a logician, a professor of philosophy. If he cannot do, then who will be able to do it? He tried hard. First he was very much inspired, and finally he was simply perspiring. The whole inspiration became perspiration. He was drenched in perspiration, and a crowd had gathered. And there was no way to figure it out. The puzzle remained a puzzle, became more and more puzzling. Finally he asked the shop owner, what kind of jigsaw puzzle is this? If I cannot do it, I am the head of the department in the University of Logic. Mathematics is my hobby. If I cannot do it, then how do you hope that a 5-year-old child will be able to do it? The shopkeeper said, who told you that anybody can do it? This toy represents the world. It is made in such a way that it cannot be fixed. This is just a lesson for the child how the world is. Do whatsoever you like. Everything fails. And when I say everything, I mean everything. But it takes millions of lives for people to arrive to this point. Because in one life you cannot try all. You try a few things, they fail. But the hope remains, maybe you have not tried the right things. You earn money, you become the richest man in the world. You become an Andrew Carnegie. And at the peak, when you have become the richest man in the world, suddenly you see your whole life has been a wastage. Money is there, but there is no contentment inside. And life is gone down the drain. You can see the misery of Andrew Carnegie. When he was dying, somebody asked, who was writing a biography, that you must be the most contented man in the world. He said, contented? I am the most discontented man in the world. Don't you know I am the wealthiest man in the world? That is my discontent. Now I know there is no more to wealth. All that is possible I have attained. And yet I am dying empty. My life has been just a wastage. Next time, if God gives me another opportunity, I am not going to try money anymore. It has failed. But the hope is there that he will try politics. Those who attain to political power, they fail. But then they think maybe it is knowledge. We should try knowledge, and so on and so forth. Remember, the world is made as a device by God. Everything here is bound to fail. You can hope and you can try, but nothing is going to succeed. The day you understand that nothing is going to succeed is the day of great transformation. That is the day sannyas is born. In Detroit, brothels are now automatized. One puts $20 in a slot and a door opens. A politician decides to have a go. He puts in the $20 and the door opens. He finds himself in a corridor with two doors. One reads blonde, the other reads brunette. He chooses the door with blonde written on it. He then finds himself in another corridor with two doors. One reads tall and the other reads small. He opens the door with tall written on it and finds himself in another corridor with two doors. One reads big tits. The other reads small tits. Immediately he chooses the door with big tits on it and finds himself in another corridor with two doors, the one reading small s, the other large S. He rushes through the door with a small s written on it and again finds himself in a corridor with two doors, one with real screw on it, the other fancy fuck. He throws himself on the door with real screw on it and finds himself in the street on the other side of the same building. But you can try other ways. You will always find that you end up in the same street on the other side of the building. The whole life is like that. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for sannyas. There would have been no reason for religion to exist at all. Religion exists only because the world fails. It is the failure of the world that brings you to a new awareness. That if the cherished goal cannot be found in the world, then let us try it inwards. There you have not tried yet. Move inwards. Contentment is a quality of your center. It is not found on the circumference. Fulfillment is when you have arrived at your real, authentic being. It is not found in the ego. The sixth question: when we don't understand you rightly, how do you feel? I simply feel that you don't understand me. And that is that. It is not a question of feeling anything else. I said 2 plus 2 are 4, and you don't understand. So I understand that you don't understand. I try again next day. I go on hammering 2 plus 2 are 4. If you understand, good. If you don't understand, good. It is not a question of feeling. I don't feel hurt. I don't feel frustrated. Because from the very beginning, I am not expecting you to understand. Frustration comes through expectation. If I am expecting that you are going to understand, then of course, when you don't understand, there will be frustration, deep frustration. If I am hoping that you are going to behave in this way and you don't behave, then certainly I feel hurt. You have disobeyed. You have not proved worthy enough. You have not risen to the occasion. But I have no expectation at all from nobody. So whatsoever you do, I go on giggling and seeing it all. If you misunderstand, then I say, old man, try again. What else can be done? And this is not a new situation. This has been always so. And this is going to be always so. In fact, to expect that people should understand you is a subtle desire to dominate them. Why? If they don't want to understand you, it is perfectly okay. It is their life. They don't want to go in a certain way. It is their choice, and they are free. Hence, I never give detailed information about how you should live. Although you go on asking me what you should eat, when you should go to bed, when should you get up in the morning, you go on asking about these stupid details. And these stupid details have been given by your great, so-called great saints down the ages. I don't give you any single detail. I simply give you my insight. I share my insight. I open up my heart before you. If you can partake anything, I am obliged. I am thankful. that in some way my love, my understanding helped you to become more loving, more understanding. But misunderstanding is accepted. Krishnamurti gets very angry. Sometimes even hits his head when he sees that people are not understanding him. Why be so worried about it? He is taking things too seriously. He is not playful. You can ask me the same question 1,001 times. I'm not going to be angry. Each time you ask the question, I'm happily ready to share whatsoever is possible. Why Krishnamurti is so serious? He was brought up by wrong people, the Theosophists. They are very serious people. They had made a very mysterious philosophy out of all the religions of the world, a kind of synthesis. It is not synthesis, just hocus pocus. Fragments from one place and few fragments from another place. And they were very serious people. And they wanted Krishnamurti to become the world teacher. Now, how you can become the world teacher? There has never been a world teacher. And there will never be. Unless the world decides to be your disciple, how you can be a world teacher? In India there are many. All the Shankaracharyas are called Jagat Guru, world teachers. I know one Shankaracharya who has only one disciple. I asked, what kind of world teacherhood is this? He looked a little embarrassed. I told him, don't feel so embarrassed. I will suggest you a way out. In Hindi, Jagat Guru means world teacher. Jagat means the world, Guru means teacher. I told him, you do one thing. You start calling your disciple Jagat. And you become Jagat Guru. Don't feel so embarrassed. There is always a way. One can wriggle out of laws and words and call him Jagat. And you are the Guru, certainly. Theosophists wanted Krishnamurti to be Jagat Guru, a world teacher. And they tried hard. They could not make him, because he was really an intelligent person. If he has been just a little less intelligent, he would have become a Jagat Guru, a world teacher. But he wriggled out his way. But even though he has come out of their grip, the scars are left. The seriousness is still there. He is not playful. He has no sense of humor. I am not serious. What I am saying to you is saying out of playfulness. It is more a gossiping than a gospel. Watson, a Clevelander in Paris, was unable to find a bordello, so he asked a gendarme to give him directions. The policeman did not understand English very well. Watson tried pidgin English and pointing, "Me," he said, pointing to his chest. "Ah, you wish to eat?" says the gendarme. "No, no," said Watson. He tried again, taking out a $20 bill. "Ah, you wish to gamble?" "No, no, no," shouted the American in disgust, and he unzipped and zipped himself. "Ah, oui, oui," says the gendarme. "Oui, oui, my ass. Where the hell is the nearest whorehouse?" I am talking a different language. You understand a different language. But there is no need to make much fuss about it. It is natural. A hippie was walking along the road when he saw a big rock by the side of the road wobbling. Being a strong hippie, he picked up the rock to see what was underneath. To his surprise, out jumped a leprechaun. "To be sure, I am grateful to ye, lad," he cried, "and in return for your kindness I will grant you 3 magic wishes." "Far out," drawled the hippie. "Eh, man, well, I wanna be uptight, out of sight, and in the groove, baby." "Okay," said the leprechaun, and turned him into a Tempex. There is no problem when you misunderstand me or don't understand me. There is no problem. I simply enjoy whether you understand or misunderstand. My enjoyment remains undisturbed. And I am not a Messiah. And I am not a missionary. And I am not here to establish a church or to give a doctrine to the world, a new religion. No. My effort is totally different. A new consciousness, not a new religion. A new consciousness, not a new doctrine. Enough of doctrines and enough of religions. Man needs a new consciousness. And the only way to bring consciousness is to go on hammering from all the sides. So slowly, slowly, chunks of your mind go on dropping. The statue of a Buddha is hidden in you. Right now you are a rock. If I go on hammering, cutting chunks out of you, slowly, slowly, the Buddha will emerge. It takes time. And there is no hurry either. I am not in a hurry. Because the problem with hurry is, the more you are in a hurry, the more the whole thing is delayed. And if you are not in a hurry at all, things start happening sooner. I can wait forever. I can wait infinitely. But the miracle is, if you can wait infinitely, things can happen instantly. Right now, the Buddha can pop up in your consciousness. Suddenly a bud can open and become a flower. And one never knows when it is going to happen. So one has to go on simply working. And the work should never be thought as work, but as worship. Working with you, I am worshipping you. Talking to you, I am loving you. Not giving you a doctrine, but my heart. Handle it with care. Enough for today.